then that would give the Lakers a cushion because then the Lakers, they could, if they lost to, say, let's say they lose to the Suns, right? Like, let's say they beat the Clippers and they beat the Jazz and they lose to the Suns, right?
Yeah.
Well, as long as Warriors lose one more game because we have the tiebreaker, we would be the 6th seed. So the 5th and 6th seed is very possible, but if the Lakers win outright, it goes from the 6th seed now that they would be guaranteed to the 5th seed. My point, and this is where I want to hear your points, and then we'll dive into the Suns a little bit. I think if you get into the playoffs, whether it's the 5th seed or 6th seed, you get into the playoffs. Why would you avoid trying to get the 5th seed? Because I see a lot of people saying we don't want to play the Suns in the first round. And yes, the Suns could be very good. I'll give my opinions and thoughts on the Suns in a minute. I want to hear yours. But the way I look at it is, if you have an opportunity to get into the playoffs, not the play-in, the playoffs, you get into the playoffs. Why would you mess around and risk injury or, a team, 2 teams getting hot, and because it's not a 7-game series, it's just 2 games. Lakers have a bad game and then another team gets hot and you lose. Like, should the Lakers still make the playoffs if they get in the play-in? Absolutely. But why even risk it? Why not give your guys the rest? Why not do all this stuff just to avoid the Phoenix Suns, who you're going to have to play regardless? But what are your thoughts on the situation? Do you want the Lakers to get the 5 seed? Because that's what it's looking like. It's looking like it's either going to be the 5 seed or the 7 seed. Doesn't look like it'll be one of the. It doesn't look like they'll get the 6 seed. It'll be a play-in or Suns. So
now if we get the so honestly, I want the 5th seed just because I feel like we can handle the Suns in a 7-game series. I don't feel like with them adding Kevin Durant, I just don't feel like they're as glued as they need to be, already at this point in the season. You got to think about it like this from a roster perspective. Yeah, Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players of all time, and he could fit into any roster essentially. But you just added an all-star level player into a lineup that was already set and already glued, and they already had the chemistry and they already had their cohesiveness. And now you just put Kevin Durant in there, you know what I mean? Along with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, which if we were going to do this, I feel like that was the easier of the teams to actually be able to do that. My point is, I think the Suns, whether they get knocked out by us, let's say we do go play-in, right? And they face someone else, whoever in the first round, I think they're going to take an early playoff exit anyway. I just don't really see them really contending and even getting to the Western Conference Finals. I just think that their team's not where it needs to be. They're not as deep as us. And I don't think anybody's going to make the argument that they are. So I would love to see the Suns in the first round. And you got to think too, if we win that first round against the Suns, how big of a momentum booster is that? You know what I mean? Because we're obviously going to be the underdogs in that series. We're not going to be favored to win that series. I mean, I don't think we are, but that's a huge momentum booster for us. So we go on, smash the Nuggets, smash the Clippers, whoever we need to get to. I just think it's a win-win situation. I don't want to be in the play-in situation because there's a chance that whoever we do play in the play-in, whether we see the Pelicans or whoever we see in the play-in, there's a good chance that the other team may just have a crazy night and be playing their hearts out. I get it. It's playoff basketball. So they're going to be playing hard. But at the same time, that playing game just hits a little different because you have to win. You know what I mean? There is no versus the playoff series, it's a 7-game series. So you can afford to have maybe one. You don't want to.
You have a bad night. You're still
exactly. If you're a true competitor, you don't think okay, I can have an off night. But the fact of the reality is, you can afford maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 off nights. But that playing game, you have to win that game. So my point is, I say I would love for us to get in the 5th seed and face the Suns. And I think we got it too. I truly do. I've been looking at the way we've been playing. Oh my goodness, it's been beautiful. And I really want to see the Suns. That's why I'm excited for this matchup on April 7th. But at the same time, they're not really going to be playing their guys anyway. I don't think so. Not at this point. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I personally I want the Suns. 1, I want all the smoke. 2, I want that matchup, right? I said this before. I said this on one of these streams a month or so ago, where I talked about how, ideally I would love to face the Suns, the Warriors, and the Nuggets, right? We talked about that in a stream where, we agreed. Then there's no excuse. What is anyone going to say? We played the defending champions. We played the team that everyone believes is going to come out the West in the Suns, and we played the best team in the West all season, right? We beat all three of
I
those.
can give you pushback right now. People are like, "Oh, the defending champions, they weren't playing good this year." Like,
Yeah.
you know, and they're gonna say what I just said. They're gonna, oh, you face the Suns, or you know, they weren't as gelled. Oh, you faced.
Yeah, but they ain't
actually,
saying that now. Is the point?
well,
Like,
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I just
people, the trolls
they're gonna
are gonna
find
the
something.
trolls are gonna be grasping at straws and try to find whatever they can find to, you know, to try to discredit it. It's silly, but you know.